Hello, everybody. This is Big Jonas. Happy Saturday to you all. Saturday, October 26th, 2019. I wanted to come to you guys with a live broadcast after some incredible price action in Bitcoin. I'm a little under the weather this morning. Got a little bit of a cold here, so bear with me. You might hear me hitting the mute button a few times to clear my throat. But thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, guys, can find me on Twitter. I am at Big Jonas. Put my content there for all you guys to see, my thoughts, my ideas, what I'm seeing in the Bitcoin and crypto markets. You guys can also find me on the Flux Trading Group, fluxtradinggroup.com. Highly recommend you guys check it out, sign up, become a member of our premium Discord group. Lots of great people in there talking about crypto all day long, all night long, sharing our trade ideas, talking about what is going on in this market. fluxtradinggroup.com. Okay, so listen, Bitcoin has a way of humbling us, obviously, when we think the market is headed in one direction. It has tendencies to go the other direction, and definitely what we saw the past, couple days here has been some pretty outrageous price action where you were at mid 7Ks, and then $3,000 later, we're up for a very brief amount of time, as high as $10,500. So, got my daily chart up here. I wanted to reference a couple things. You guys know I like to use the Bollinger Bands as part of my TA. They're great for setting a few things of bias, support, and resistance. As well as the overall width of our bands can give me a sense of expectations. When our daily Bollinger Bands get very tight, like they have been here, we can see a lot of volatile price action because there's running room to expand um, our our bands here, expand our price action while keeping our bands more or less controlled in the same environment. What we saw yesterday is the break up of a close below lower Bollinger for 2 days straight, and then a rejection right at the upper BB blasting through middle Bollinger. Now today's price action, this candle right here, now we got about 9.5 hours left of to form out this candle here. This is going to be an incredibly important candle. I mean, the starters, the volume was insane. This could be one of our highest this actually will be one of our highest volume candles since our current top of the year, all the way up to $14,000, or almost up to $14,000 there. So we still have the day remaining here. We'll definitely kind of add to our volume profile here. Bitcoin's still holding over $9,000, but we have quite an upper wick here of over $1,000 in the daily Bitcoin price action. We don't really see this too often, but we're down. Actually, I should do this from top to bottom, obviously. We are off, 14%, 12%, excuse me, from our daily highs here. We're down $1,000 from the highs of just today. And we could still technically have a bullish candle here. So what would make this candle a bullish candle? Obviously, closing the green will be important. The sense about the shooting star is tricky because, shooting stars we tend to like to see at the top of a trend, the upper part of a trend, or a bottom hammer at the lower part of a trend. We're still in a relatively sideways trending price action here. Now, there was a area of resistance that Bitcoin has been consistently hitting, which is this line right here. And for a brief moment last night, we were basically hitting up against it around $9,400. We blasted through it, boom, and closing below it would be consistent with the consistency of the rejections we have been getting every time this line has been touched. It was assessed at the top here at 13.8. We hit it once more at 13.3. We hit it once more at 12.2. We hit it once more at 11K. And now today's price action, upper wick broke through it. But if we're unable to close above it, then that resistance still holds. And frankly, the bears, even with this price action, are still holding the overall trend, which is lower highs. Okay. And for now, we are still putting in these lower lows. Here is our low. Here is our lower low. There's our breakthrough. And we can still remain in this channel, putting in these lower highs and putting in these lower lows, and still maintaining an overall bearish structure of our Bitcoin price action. Now, what would make me turn really bullish here would be to get above this line here. Maintaining 9K support would be crucial, because not only are we looking at our sloping lines of resistance, but we have a support area here of that was pretty consistent. I go really right here, where we had this rejection candle. I remember this very clearly back in May, where we hit $9,100 for the first time, got a very strong rejection, came all the way back down to 7,400, and then boom, back up. Same deal here. Didn't get as high as 9K, came back to the mid sevens, $7,400, and then boom, back up here. So this area, 9,100, 9,100, 9,400, 9,300, this was support. This was support all through July, August, September, and the last part of September there. So now what was support, okay, on Bitcoin price action, and listen, pretty strong support, right? Because we got some great bounces every time Bitcoin was able to hit this area, boom, boom, the little front running there. Breaking down below that was significant and a very bearish situation there. So what we're doing now is we're just back testing this area of major resistance turned into major support, and now acting as major resistance. And I'd give a window pretty much up to $9,400, where our lower wicks were tested but held. And that $9,400, let's make that a little darker there. Let's make that purple. There we go. That's a significant area that Bitcoin needs to not only get above intraday, but to close above and to maintain closes above. And the reason this is so significant is because we like to backtest areas that we see as resistance or we see as support. It breaks down. And then we like to see a back test to basically confirm that what was support now is resistance is going to still be resistance. And that is exactly what is happening today in today's Bitcoin price action. Now, what's important about this is the market here. I mean, this is the situation that we're looking at. We have a situation here where the bulls are trying to fight. They're trying to maintain, okay? 10K Bitcoin can definitely be a very bullish market here. But the history of the 9K area has been the most significant area of history, I would say, through the latter half of this year's bull run, because this is the defining area where our descending triangle broke down, and now we're being back tested as it. And right now, I would argue that under $92 to $9,400 is a zone that is still the resistance zone of the overall situation here in Bitcoin price action. Let's look at a couple indicators here. Our on balance volume did actually have a very nice spike up here. We were putting in these lower lows in our OBV, but as you can see, we still have some running room here on the upside to even test that declining line. So as we were able to hit it on the price action, you can see we're still much lower than where the price action was suggesting to where the OBV should be if it was backtesting this line of resistance here. This is where we were seeing the bullish divergence on the daily RSI. We were seeing this higher low in the RSI price action. Let me see if I can make this a little wider here. Bring that down, bring that down. Okay, let's clean this up just a hair. So look at, there was our low, 20, 24, 29, okay, higher lows in RSI, 77, 77, 72. So we're putting lower lows in the price action. We're putting higher lows in the RSI. That was showing the RSI was strengthening while the price action was declining, which was showing the price action was not in line with the actual strength of the market at the time. And that basically allowed that boom push through higher. I did talk a lot about how 50 is in a very important area of RSI on any kind of time frame. When you're above it, I can have a bullish bias. When you're below it, I can have a bearish bias. Right now, daily RSI is at 61. I got to have a bullish bias, right? Because we're maintaining a high above 50 here. Now, we were doing this, where's my arc? Kind of this inverse arc here. And now I'm kind of just bring this down just a little bit here and basically say we still have running room on the daily RSI to get back to, again, retest this falling line of resistance, 89, 88, 85, okay? We have a little bit more daily RSI running room to get us higher and retest these areas of resistance. But I am encouraged. Daily RSI is above 50. Let's see if Bitcoin can maintain that. Daily Stoke. Talk about a whipsaw here. Never did touch our lows here. In leading indicator pumped very much higher here. We do have a falling line of resistance. I do like to use our stochastic, not just for if we're on the upper band or the lower band, but there are patterns here. There are definite patterns that can be established. And this pattern of resistance here on our leading indicator is pretty darn close to where we currently are. And this could have actually pulled back a little bit. Probably did pull back a little bit as the price did pull back there. So we're still hitting that resistance there as well. Now, this is very curious to me. Chalk and money flow, CMF. We were barely above our zero line. We have fallen back below it. Listen, we're not in a bull market if the CMF is below our zero line. You can see we were way above it all through March, April. Little support test here in April, little support break here in the end of July. But we've basically been able to range above our zero line, showing strong money flow, continue to flow into the market. Okay, I cannot be super bullish with the CMF below zero, and that is exactly where it currently is right now. We also have a very defined line of resistance here. Whoa, that wasn't the... doing this one here. A very defined line of resistance. There we go. Like boom, 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 boom. Getting a little lower. We're actually putting in lower lows here. Almost like that now. Okay, so we do have a little bit more running room if the CMF does want to target and get back above our zero line. But I can't be bullish with the CMF below zero, and that's where we currently are right now on the daily chart. Last one here. This is our MACD. Able to maintain a positive histogram after putting in just one day of a bearish one there. Guys, our indicators, we're still above our zero line. We're still above our zero line. And sorry, we're still below our zero line. And that's tough because, again, this was our bull market of the early part of the year, and you can see even when we put in our bearish histograms, our indicators were still way above our zero line. So again, it's hard for me to have an overall bullish sense of the market with our indicators below our zero line, even though we are putting in higher high here in our histogram. Let's do a quick reset here, guys. My name is Big Chonis. Remember to hit that thumbs up button there. We got 87 of my closest friends watching, only 10 thumbs up. Let's hit that thumbs up button if you can on the YouTube. Remember to follow me on Twitter as well. I am at Big Chonis. Hit that follow and subscribe button on YouTube as well, chonistrading.com. And remember to check me out at thefluxtradinggroup.com as well. We're a great educational platform sharing our trading ideas on the Discord group. Definitely would love to see you there. Quick shout out to the guys and gals in the chat room. Ale Maharil, AD, cinematographers, Handy Rams, Earl Suley, Robert Long, Tone Loke, Mattis S, SS Swartz 88. What's up, buddy? David Aubong, Ray A, Mark Anthony, Sweet Carney, E. Bernardo De Silva. Thanks for hanging out with me here. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for letting me chat to you on this fine Saturday. There we go. There's some thumbs up and a thumbs down. Who are you? Show yourself. Okay, so back to the Bitcoin price action here. All right, so I'm still on the daily here. I'm going to hide a bunch of my artwork here and talk about some indicators here. We already did the Bollinger Bands. We are still above upper BB here, but we definitely can see that we have still very tight on the daily there. I want to bring up my EMA 12, EMA 26. Okay, we are still in a bearish cross, member of our EMAs. Okay, they are drifting higher. What I can do here is hide the price action, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Here was our bear cross. Here was our bear cross. Here was our rejection. Here is our breakdown. You can see we are rising higher, but EMA 12 is still under EMA 26, which means this is still a bearish EMA standpoint on the daily chart. My Ichimoku on the daily, we did look at that. We wicked out right towards the top of our span here, up to as high as almost 10.6. We could have gone, went just a little lower. We still are in a bearish Kumu twist. And right now we are just above our Kaijin-sen, I call it support if it's holding there. But as you can see, we have regained Tenkan-sen support, our blue line there, on this current, actually the past 2 days of daily candle price action. Triple MAs. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. You guys follow me on Twitter. You know I've been talking about the death cross, okay? And we can see right now we are in the death cross. What is the death cross? It is when the MA50 drops in and down below the MA200. Now, we've done this before, right? Go back here to 2018. And note at the time, the MA200 was still in an upward trajectory while the MA50 was in a downward trajectory. MA50 downward, MA200 upward. So these are very similar. So what happened last time? Well, as we approached our death cross, we had some very bearish price action. And then we had some very bullish price action when the death cross basically initiated here. But when we came back up, the MA200, our red line here, was consistent resistance here, 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 and all the way, all the way. Now we are back above MA 200 and MA 50, and this will be important for the bulls to maintain support above these two moving averages, especially the MA 200. The 50 I can play around with here, but a bull market needs to be above the MA 200 on the daily chart. You can see we've been having a tough time trying to get back above it. We're consistently resisting it here. A daily close today above 8,900 would put the price action above the MA 200 for the first time since September 25th, almost a month here. It's actually exactly a month. And that would be very important for the bulls to continue any kind of bullish momentum that can be continued. Who else said hello in the chat room here? Let's see here. Doxy, Claire D, Cornholio, what's up, buddy? Miguel, Dane Bowling, LZ, KZLI, SJ, Crypto Anything, CC, what's up, people? Thank you for hanging out with me. Remember to hit that thumbs up button there. If you do feel so inclined. Big Jonas here talking to you on a Saturday. Let's check out our TD indicator here. Daily, we were basically in such tight price action here. We weren't really getting a very strong count. We did have our last 9 candle be this tremendous drop. And we had 4 days of kind of a consolidation here. We are now putting in a green 2 above a green 1 in our daily here, and this would be I would give this one more day. Basically, if we can get a green 3 to close above the green 2, that could potentially initiate a long trade because of that. But for now, I like to wait for the 3rd candle on the TD sequence to basically initiate any kind of a play here. I'll give you an example of where a green count is not a long. Here's our green 1, here's our green 2 above the green 1, but here's our green 3 below the green 2. That is not a long trade signal. And then sure enough, the 4 candle was actually quite bearish. So personally, I do like to wait for that 3rd candle on the TD count to set my bias there. So still early on in that count there as well. Let's do VPVR. So the reason that Bitcoin was able to pump so quickly, I would say through the 9Ks there is, relatively speaking, we do have a gap basically from 10.3 all the way down to around $7,900 here of limited more or less price action, which did allow Bitcoin to pump very hard through this. We can see our bearish candle here happen very quickly. We can see our bullish candles here happen very quickly as well. So still have that gap here in price action, with now the 10.3 once again really acting as resistance. If the $79 to $8,200 area continues to act as support, we can definitely climb above. But breaking below that, our next really area of more or less major price history isn't until the 5Ks. And that's important to know. These gaps in price action are important because they show how quickly the price can move basically through them as well. Thanks, Shinobi. Appreciate your kind words. Hey, Robin. How's it going today? The Wobble, Me Jello, what's up, buddy? Eric Lopez, Arliss Johnson, yo. Thanks for joining me here on this fine Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well. So, this is the daily. We were talking about the daily. This is basically where we are. We are still finding resistance. We are just a slight hair above our MA 200, which is important. Definitely looking to close above 8,800 would confirm that the MA 200 is now acting as support. We'll see how long that can hold there. Volume definitely increasing here, as we can see, but we are still facing quite a pullback from the highs of earlier today. I want to go to our weekly. It closes tomorrow. We still have some time here. Okay, MA 100 on the weekly, support, 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 support. A month of MA 100 support, broke down, back up. Okay, this candle, it's still a bullish candle. I wouldn't call it a spinning top. I wouldn't call it it's definitely a high wave. Candle here, but it really depends how tight our body gets in the next day here, day and a half. This could be a high wave spinning top doji, um, but this also could be a very nasty shooting star wick if we close towards the bottom end of this range here, which would be basically something in the mid to low 8Ks. We've got to see how strong this move is here. But for now, what was support, turn resistance, basically is being tested now to get back over it as support. Ichimoku, okay, why do I use my Ichimoku and why do I have my settings 20, 60, 120, 30 is because this is where I like to have them. And you can see Tenkan-sen, topped off resistance, upper cloud resistance, held resistance. Okay, we are still in a bearish cloud on the weekly, have yet to have any kind of a twist here. And actually a slight expansion of that bearishness here with a slight move down here of our leading span B. Kaijin-sen is acting as support. It was resistance for several weeks there in a row, and that's down at $8,500. So the TD, listen, we were on an 8. And we were on a 9. This was a 9 candle about a day and a half ago, right? We love good reversals, obviously, on a 9 candle. This is now a 1. This is a 1 because 1, 2, 3, 4, we are above 8K, and this will probably be closing out as a 1 as long as we maintain support above $8,000, and it will be a 2 as long as we remain support above $7,800. So we probably going to be in a green count here over the next couple weeks as long as Bitcoin can remain above the $8,200 mark on the weekly chart. Weekly RSI at 52. Okay, again, I talk about how I like to be above 50. Okay, there is our arc. We have a lot of history here in this area of resistance, back to support, and now we're back testing it again. So very historic area here on the weekly OBV. Nice weekly double bottom bounce here on the OBV here. On the weekly, very nice W bottom here. I do like to see that. Still a ways to go. I would like to see some sort of a back test of this last W bottom that did fail to hold support. As you can see, we're right there. It's actually possible that earlier in the day we were actually touching this when Bitcoin was for that brief moment above 10K. So this is our Stoke. I've been talking about this past couple of shows about how we were over 100 days here on the bullish side. Can we be down 100 days on our bearish side? So we do have our leading indicator poking its head above our my line. I like to keep these at 10 and 90 versus the defaults of 80-20. But that's important here that we are basically ranging above and finding a little bit of bullish momentum on the weekly stochastic. Now, I like to use the Stoke for me personally when I'm scalp trading on lower time frames. Higher time frames are very, how do I say this, not as helpful. Being topped off here for 100 days didn't tell you that the top was in at all, basically, until we actually started to drift a much lower. So just because we're poking our head above here ever so slightly, we need a lot more momentum here to get us really above our very low, very weak areas of our stochastic here as well. Again, we talked about how the daily CMF was below 0. This is our weekly CMF, also still below 0. However, we do have a slight higher low where we are currently finding support. So that's important there, that we are still seeing that higher low area of support. And potentially we can build off of this as well. And lastly, our MACD here still looks like crap on the weekly. We are above our zero line, obviously, with our indicators here, still stretched very wide. In my TA and my videos, especially my educational ones, I do talk about how not only do we look for crosses and whatever, but we look for the spread. The spread, this is our very bullish spread. You can see we were so bearish here in terms of how separated our indicators were. So this was a good situation here where we're just oversold and the MACD was showing it. And that was allowed for the Bitcoin price action to move. You can see the bullish spread and the bearish spread are very similar here to the extremes of how far they got. Blue over orange, orange over blue. Still in a very negative histogram, but we definitely could be making our way back up the mountain in the next couple of weeks here. Definitely want to keep moving in on that direction here, but still putting in negative histograms. Guys, I wanted to finish up the show with our monthly chart. We are on the monthly, are getting close to the end of the month. Got 4 days left here. This can definitely be a reversal candle in our monthly chart here. I want to go to stamp just to get a little more price history here. Okay. This is our 2014 bear market here. And you can see basically when we had any notable pullbacks, 2015, 2016, okay? Right here, we had 4 months of bearishness, 1 month of bullishness, 2 months of bearishness, okay? Then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of bearishness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of bullishness, 3 of bearishness, and now we are potentially going to close out our first green month, since June. A couple things of note. Back to linear for a second here. Still maintaining middle BB support. Have not touched it. Middle BB just a hair under 7K. Upper BB at 11.3. The monthly Bollingers, people, are extremely wide. This is like jaws open. This is incredibly wide still. We are still outside, in my opinion, the standard deviation of the BBs. You can see how tight historically they were here. We opened up and we are still incredibly wide, which tells me that I feel that we can still maintain some sort of a very tight channel getting into the future here. You can see the possibility of where Bitcoin could be going in the next couple of years if we continue this, descending wedge, declining triangle. I don't know how if you want to call it. Here's our high, here's our low, here's our lower high. Will we continue? Will we get back to 3K, 4K? I mean, this is still consistent here, and the upper wicks are still consistent. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of very strong upper wicks. However, the past 2 months, we are starting to see some lower wicks here. So there are buyers stepping in when we are breaking the lows of the month, intra-month. MA50 still way down here at 4K area. And look at that. We just created our MA100 for the first time in 9 years of price action. The MA100 on the monthly chart has just shown up. That's all the way down at the 2K region. TD, we are on a red 2 still. 1, 2, 3, 4, and will remain a red 2 with closes below 10,007, and then next month with closes below 10,002 will be a red 3. So we have for now a red 2, but potentially a higher close than the red 1 in that initiation there. So still not getting a good reading there on the TA on the higher time frame there. And lastly here, MA12, MA26, EMA12, EMA26. These are my personal EMAs I like to use. You guys can use your own. There's no wrong answers. If you like to use the 8 and the 13, the 10 and the 20, The 21 and the 55, there's no wrong answer as long as you use two and as long as you're consistent with them. I do like the fact that we touched our EMA 12 for the first time here. It did break below it, obviously, intra-month. Still maintaining it as support above $7,800. Monthly price action, even with the most recent price action here, we're still putting in a lower volume. Next few days here, we're putting in probably going to be an equal amount of volume than last month's overall price action. Declining volume on higher time frames, okay? Declining price action on higher time frames. Even though the past 24 hours of price action has been very dramatic and very intense and very awesome, okay? We're still putting in lower lows. We're still under 10K. We're still under $9,400. We're still under the areas where Bitcoin really needs to find that overall support. Okay, but we are beginning to find crosses um, on lower time frames, and that might be something that Bitcoin can build over. EMA, we got a bull cross here on our 12 hour. Okay, still bearish on our daily, but bull cross on our 12, bull cross on our 6, bull cross on our 4, bull cross on our 1. But now we're finding EMA 12 resistance here on the 1 hour chart. So higher time frames, okay, are definitely being affected by this bullish price action. Lower time frame, we're still seeing consolidation after this expansion here. RSI was probably off the charts here, stochastic off the charts here, coming down, easing down. But we're going to see how strong this rally, truly is. And as we close out the day, the week, and the month, all in the next couple of days here, it's been very important to basically keep these things in mind. That overall, we are finding that nice price action in history here. But this could definitely close with a very bearish candle. The weekly could definitely close with a indecision candle for sure. And the monthly, even though green would still be putting in, a lower high from the open of the previous month of September. Closing above $9,600 would be the first higher low of the open. But for now, we are still putting a lower low in that price action. All right, guys, 38 minutes. I think that's pretty good here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Much appreciated. Remember to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed my content today. Remember to find me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonas. Remember to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, chonastrading.com. Remember to check out fluxtradinggroup.com, fluxtradinggroup.com. Love to see you in the Discord group. I'm making very good educational videos talking about all the trading ideas. Great group of guys over there and gal, Chart Vampire, Tool Free Crypto, and the Cryptomist putting out great content as well. Our members also sharing their thoughts and ideas. It's a great active community. Definitely would love to see you there and to be part of it for the bullish or bearish, because we can make money, when we can short the market here. There is definitely money to be made on both sides of the equation. So until then, this is Big Chonas. Love to see you again soon. I'll keep you guys posted on what I'm seeing in the markets. Until next time, peace.